In this video, I'm going to explain market structure and I'm going to delve into trend versus range and why that's important. Um, and I just want to also emphasis a little bit on market psychology as well. So, to start this off, market structure effectively is higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and it might be down here, higher low, and then it might be a higher high. Okay, so I've just put the higher high and higher low on here for um, make it nice and clear what I'm trying to explain. So as price goes up, higher high, comes down, puts in the higher low, and continues on. This is an uptrend or a bullish movement, as often referred to. And I've drawn this specifically with the highs getting slightly lower than the previous high. So this has gone up like a reasonable amount more. It's pulled back. And what you tend to find is this might come down and it's still putting in a higher low, but it's retraced more and then it's put in a higher high, but the high isn't much higher than the previous high. If this happens, that's indicating to me that it's like it's running out of steam. So think of a steam train climbing a hill and it's just getting to the top and it just can't push through with momentum. Now, this can come down, and if this puts in another higher low, then we would expect it to want to push up past. But if it comes down, for instance, and it puts in a lower low, a lower low, say down here, when it comes back, it's either going to jump back into the trend because there's a little bit of a trend sort of going on, and it might very well do that and go all the way up, or it might put in the higher low, and then that's indicating the trend reversal. So that on a high level is what market structure is all about: higher highs and higher lows, or vice versa, lower highs and lower lows. So let's look at this on the chart and explain sort of what's going on, because in reality, it spends a lot of time trending, but nearly more time ranging. So this is a 4-hour chart. So on Bitcoin. So as you can see here, it's putting quite clearly a higher high, and the pullback is not much. And in doing so, it's come back, it's gone up, it's come back, and it's gone up. That has created a range. So that's also known as a bull flag, which is actually a quite powerful signal. And the same thing happened here, but it also works in reverse. But up we go. So the bull flag, and I'm not going over patterns in this because I don't trade patterns, but I do trade ranges and support and resistance, and we'll go into that in a lot more detail in a video dedicated to it. But yes, it breaks out of the range. Now, whether it went up or it went down, in this case, it's gone up. It's put in the higher high, and it's come back and it's doing a similar thing, and it's shot off again. And then it's pulled back. Now, this one was interesting because there is a wick down really low, but the body of the candle has closed in line with the range. So price action, is always correct. We're not, we're the trader, but price action is always correct. So in this case, it did close back in the range and then it recovered. So this one, you would have been looking for a trade from this point up, but this is this is what I generally use the Fibonacci for and so forth. So we'll go into more detail on the Fib later. But yeah, the market structure has gone up and it has put in another higher high, which is massive. And then you can see it's come down and it's put in a low. Now that low is not necessarily a higher low, which means it's not technically as powerful. You could say that this is pulled back down here. If you were trading this daily, you would probably notice this is happening. But when you stand back and look at it on the daily, effectively it's just gone up here, down here. Then the highs come in, it's put in a lower high, but then when it came down, it put in a higher low, which was indicating, okay, price was a bit unsure here, but it did go back up. And effectively, it's just, yeah, mucked around, done its thing, and then come down, still put in a higher low. So that's a higher low again. So it's still showing that there's strength. But when it's going up, market structure is not showing us that we're getting a higher high. So it's everyone's unsure what's happening. It's pulled back. It's done another failed attempt. I'll put the fib on that, but it's most likely the point 618. And yeah, it's pulled down and then we've come down. Now the body of this candle has closed lower slightly. So how the body down here of the candle is lower. Now, because this is a 4-hour chart, it's not as powerful as, say, the daily. And then knowing that, if you took a trade, you wouldn't necessarily be trying to get to the top of the range. You'd be going probably for around about the 50% level on the fib. So it's come back and then it's put in a lower high. So what has it done? Comes down, does a lower low. So every move, it's sort of about psychology, and the fib, I'll go over it in the package on the Fibonacci, which is one of my favorite tools for helping set targets. And I find just for mentally, it matters. It matters a lot. And I'll go over why I think so in that video. But effectively, what happened with Bitcoin in this whole entire area is it was just ranging. But in that range, it had trends. So I'm just deleting all this stuff, but it's quite a bit there. So if we zoom out to the daily, and this is recent price action, so everyone's fully aware, but we had our high, lower high. This is considered a range trade, and this being the range, basically. Now, we're just currently closing below this. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I would like to see Bitcoin, in this case, come back into the range and just play out another range play. That would be ideal for price action, but it could also very well break down and then come down to another resistance, which means this could just, drop quickly, because it often drops quicker than it goes up, or can do, and then it might come and, do whatever it does. But that is market structure. Now, ranging market, if I drop down to a 5-minute, the weekends tend to be quite range bound. So generally, on the weekends, if you're trading and you're just scalping, there would simply be I'll use the wrong one there. Simply be a mark like this and a mark like this. And it sort of tends to just get a little bit smaller and smaller during that time. So this is Saturday here. It did have a dip off, so that's what's happened, but now it's just pretty much ranged. You could go to the bodies. This is the 5 minutes, so it's not necessarily super powerful time frame, but if we jump, not compared to the hourly, but if we jump in there, that's what we've got. If we jump to the hourly chart, you can see what's happening with the body of the candles a little bit more. You could push this up because it's got nearly 3. Yeah, depends how you want to do it. You could put this back through here. Everyone's going to be a bit different. If you were range trading this on the weekend, you would tend to be down at the 5. I would be as a maximum, and then I would just simply be shorting, long, short, long, vice versa. Price action tends to always go back to where it was on CME's close. So just keep that in mind. That's just how the market's working at the moment. It's not always like that. There are CME gaps in the market, but I just wanted you to see how I refer to market structure as simply that: higher highs or higher lows, or lower highs and lower lows. So, with that analysis of understanding what's happening, you can see here on the 5 minute, it's quite clear. If I just exaggerate what's sort of going on, that this is just simply series of lower highs, lower lows, lower high every time. See how it's just lower. It sort of goes into a range bound period here, but it just can't crack back above where it was. And down it goes. And again, down. Now down here, as you can see, the volume's extremely high on this candle, which sometimes indicates a local bottom is in. It doesn't necessarily mean reversal. This is a 5 minute time frame. So yeah, you can see that it did have higher volume, but yeah, so did this one here. And yeah, it reversed a little bit, but it still put in a lower high.